Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to another discussion. Today, I think we're going to talk about the law of attraction. Now, before you get too, up in arms, I'm not one of these people that believes in magic, right? I don't really think magic is real, and I don't think that some of these woo-woo New Age concepts, um, I don't think they're I think they're useful sometimes, but they're not always accurate. So today I want to talk about the law of attraction to get through why I think it's still useful, even though it's presented a lot of times as a woo-woo concept. I also want to explain a little bit as to why it's useful, like how it helps us and what is the tangible mechanisms behind what it does, so that we can understand how it works and we can understand some of the limitations of it. And we can also understand how it does have useful applications through life. So first off, for anybody that didn't know, law of attraction, right? It's this theory that by controlling your thoughts, you put yourself in an energetic space that then makes like things attract. And so by having positive thoughts, you'll attract positive people into your life, or various things like that, successful thoughts, and you'll end up with more successful people. Things of that nature is how most people, or at least how I've seen most people describe the law of attraction working. Now, I think there's some basic truth in that. Like, I think that there is a certain amount of the way that you think and behave is going to affect the world. And I don't think that there's any magic necessary for that to happen. I also think that there's a lot of expectations people put on the law of attraction. And when it doesn't work for them, they kind of forget some of the other components because I just don't see people talking about those sides. So let's get into it then, I guess, and go from there. First, I think the law of attraction is useful. I think it's useful to understand how our thoughts, behaviors, and state of ourself manifest into other people, right? Like or not manifest into other people, but manifest into the world for other people to see and react to, right? Because what do we get when we go outside? We get people reacting to us, right? Like I may not have an intention to engage somebody, but they might see me walking on the street. They might make assumptions. They're engaged with me in some way mentally just by viewing me, right? And what control do I have over that sort of a thing? Is it a way to actually bring people in or to exclude people from your life? Like, this is the other thing with the law of attraction, right? Another thing I don't hear a lot of people talking about is there's the repulsive effect, right? Like, if you're the kind of person who's nice and kind and cheery, you don't allow yourself to be abused, well, why would a narcissist hang out with you, right? Like, it kind of becomes self-exclusionary, because by you being an independent person, by you being a person who thinks for themselves, who works for themselves, isn't easily swayed by emotional pullings or tuggings or other types of simple manipulation that a lot of people use in the world today, those people just stop being interested in you. Like, I'll run into people and they just get angry with me because I don't live up to their expectations. Like, when people, do the cold shoulder, like the dirty looks while they're trying to get me to do something. No, you're going to stop and you're going to say something. If you want to talk to me and you want to have a thoughtful, engaging conversation about what you think I should or shouldn't be, great. But if you just want to give me dirty looks while you're expecting me to do something, that's not productive. And I'm not going to respond to that. I'm probably actually going to go out of my way to exacerbate whatever somebody else is putting on me. Like, this is a thing we do commonly, right? Like, if you may live with a spouse or a partner, right? Like, this is a situation that I don't really want to put myself in anymore. I don't respond well to. I've known people that, like, they will start doing something and then they'll make comments like about how they have to do it or they're stuck doing it or whatever. Like, they're not asking for help. They're not asking me to take it on as a responsibility for myself. They're doing it and then they're whining, trying to appeal to my emotions to cause me to get up and do it. Well, I don't respond to that, right? And so those kinds of people don't tend to want to be my friend because I'm not manipulatable like other people. That's what they want in their life. They want things where they can have the dynamics that they want. They're not going to get that out of me. And so by being a person who is secure in my own identity, secure in what I think and feel about the world, and I don't let people pull on my emotional strings the way that I see a lot of people allowing, I don't have these problems. And I can kind of spot narcissists because narcissists usually get angry with me after meeting me, about 20, 25 minutes after meeting me. They realize I don't respond to their shit. And then they just start getting mad at me, and they'll start trying to berate me or put me down or try to make me try to humiliate me, right? Like that's a big narcissist thing, right? Like trying to humiliate people to so that you're publicly shamed into stuff. Well, I'm kind of hard to humiliate. Like if you found out about something about me, I'm probably just open and honest about it. Like what are you gonna shame me with? My beliefs, my, like, I don't know, like godless. That's one that I've had a lot of people try to use on me. It's completely ineffective. You can call me godless all you want. I'm an atheist. What are you gonna do about it? I don't care. That doesn't faze me. And even though in like the world of like the religious person, that would be a shameful insult, right? That's why narcissists like hanging out in religious groups, is because they can use the religion to shame people into their will. But by putting yourself above that, by actually keeping control of your thoughts, by actually developing yourself, by actually understanding that the world around us, in a sense, forms in response to us, because a narcissist is going to respond differently to me than somebody who isn't secure in themselves, somebody who is the kind of person that's a people pleaser, somebody who does like to get their satisfaction out of giving other people smiles, right? Like this is the kind of person that a narcissist is going to use all day, every day. And I don't know, right, wrong, I don't know. This is the way people treat each other, and you have to choose to teach people how to treat you, right? That's part of this law of attraction thing. That's part of how this works, is you have to tell people where you stand. You have to actually put yourself out there as yourself, because if you don't put your behavior out there intentionally, like it's kind of one of those like things, like we have this cliche, right? If you don't stand for something, you fall for everything. And there's truth in that, to the sense that if you don't know what your goals are, if you don't know what it is you want, and you're just reacting based on everybody else, and you're just trying to make everybody else happy, where's your identity? What happened to you? There's nothing for you to attract. There's no group for you to fit into, because your goal is to fit into the group you find, not to be a part of a group that's suitable for you. And there's a vastly different way in approaching the world, right? Some people are just so desperate for social attention or a social place to fit in, that they'll do anything to fit in. And this is one of the things that we can counter with the law of attraction, right? Because the law of attraction, if you want things like you have to be you. And that takes a lot of courage. It takes a lot of courage to be you. It takes a lot of courage to get out there somewhere and state your opinions, knowing other people have different opinions, knowing other people are going to disagree with you. That's hard for a lot of people. Now, I kind of thrive in conflict, so that's not healthy, reasonable conflict. But even a lot of people can't handle healthy, reasonable conflict. Just a direct opposition to their beliefs can start being a real problem. And again, if you don't actually stand for anything, you fall for everything, right? Like it's the weakness comes from our lack of identity, our lack of self-work, our lack of self-importance, right? Not that we want to be self-important and make everything about us, but we do have to understand who and what we are, and how are we going to go forward if we don't have that understanding? And then how are we going to get that word out to everybody if we don't behave in that way? We may define our identity, but if we're still hiding that, if we're still hiding our opinions, if we're still hiding the things that really make us us, are we really gonna find anything that's useful to us? Now, I'm not saying fill your life with people that are all agreement. We don't want a yes men life either, but it does help to have a support group that largely believes and agrees with each other on everything, like most things anyway, like at least important things, right? And so how are you going to find that if you don't present to others what you are? And this is kind of the core of what the law of attraction is talking about, right? You being you. Now, they use the woo-woo ways of your vibration, of your energy or whatever, but it's just your presentation, your demeanor, your display of your character, your presentation. All of that is what's going to be the things that other people see. And they're going to be able to judge whether or not they like who and what you are. And it's okay if they don't. You're allowed to be not liked by everybody. As a matter of fact, a statement that I said once years ago that still keeps coming up in the life of people that I know is there's no such thing as 100% approval rating. There's no thing that goes on that every single person on the planet agrees on. There are people that believe in flat Earth. If you think if people can believe in flat Earth, I'm sorry. There's going to be a segment of people that don't like you. It's just the way it is. But why do we have such a hard time with this? Well, we have lots of reasons we fear social ostracization, right? And I'll say that for another day. That's a reasonable, tangible fear. Like, social structure is one of our survival strategies as humans. It's important that we maintain our survival strategies. It's something that makes us feel secure, but we have to accept that being ourselves means that we're not going to get along with everybody. Not everybody likes my long-winded nature. Not everybody wants to sit around and talk about science and psychology all day. And those people are not going to be people watching this channel. And that's okay too. I don't need everybody in the world to agree with me. I just need the people that, I don't know, find what I say useful, find what I say helpful, find my way of viewing the world to be useful. Because I think like that's one of the things, right? Like, I have spent so much time reading up into so many different like spiritual ideas and things. It's something that obviously it's again, it's that between what we know and what could be space. And spirituality just resides there for me. And it's fascinating because and even like today's topic, right? The law of attraction. That's interesting to me. Even though I don't believe in magic, I've thought a lot about it because it makes sense that it should work to me. Like like not because of magic, not because of some vibration or energy or whatever. I don't need any of that for that to work. It's simply a law that if you behave like you're going to find people compatible with that. It's really no more complicated than that. Now, another thing that I see people forgetting when they talk about the law of attraction is the mechanism by which you have to activate something. Think about it this way. Let's think about attraction in terms of like magnetic force, right? Well, magnets are going to pick up like ferrous material or other magnets around them, right? And there's this attraction that goes on. But that only works if I take the magnet out and move it near something to test it. See, this is the problem with the law of attraction. People think that they can stay in their box and they can stay in whatever secluded region of life they're in, whatever they've done to make their life what it is. And if you start practicing all the things like the law of attraction, like if you start actually behaving like yourself, you actually start working on your own mental state and you try to do all of that in an attempt to find people more compatible with you, well, that's great. And that's a step in the process, but it does no good no matter how magnetic you are, no matter how much attraction power you build by developing your mind, developing yourself, and having your own unique way of interacting with the world. If you don't take yourself out of your box and go outside and walk past other ferrous material, there's nothing to like hit you. So the problem with the law of attraction, the reason that I think people fail when they start trying to apply something like the law of attraction, is that they don't go outside of this safe space where there's nothing to be magnetic for. You just like, you can't expect the magnet to work leaving it in a box of plastic. It's just not, plastic doesn't respond to magnets. So it's not going to help you. So anything that's already in your life, all of your daily routine, all of that, it doesn't matter. Like it doesn't really matter how much you change your mind. If you don't change your surroundings, you're not going to have new things coming in. And I think this is one of the things that we get caught up with when we look at it through this lens of like magic, is we expect that, well, if I start thinking positive thoughts, then some stranger is going to walk up to me and change my life when I'm standing in line for coffee. That's not happening. That's not how this works. You actually have to go, and you have to go somewhere. You have to be yourself. You have to actually interact with people. Like, find social events, find clubs, find something, go out and see what happens when your magnetic and somebody else's magnetic comes together. Have a conversation with somebody new. Find somebody new to hang out with. Find a new way to interact with people. Part of this is finding the things you have to, like, because no matter how much you strengthen that magnet, it does not matter if you don't go out and test that magnet on everything else. And so in a sense, I guess, part of it is changing your routine, right? Changing, living out loud, changing being yourself and confidently being yourself. I'm not saying you have to like rub yourself in everybody's face, but be you. I mean, It really isn't that much more complicated than that. Anyway, I think that's probably enough. I think the law of attraction is interesting. If you don't know a lot about it, it's probably worth looking into. I would be careful of anybody who's trying to present it as a magic effect, but I don't think that it's harmful to allow that to exist in some form, because maybe there is something magical. I don't know. There may be something, like we have EM fields coming out of our brain. It's possible that matters in all this. I really don't know, but I also don't need that magic to exist to find the utility, and I don't need that magic to be there for this to be a valuable concept that I have seen play out, right? Like I've seen, as I change myself, the kinds of friends that I have change, right? Like this is a thing that happens. And so it's hard to dismiss something, even if we often attach it to something, a little magic or superstitious or something like that. Anyway, I don't think we need any of that. I also don't think there's a whole lot more to say. So with that, be well.